everybody, and good evening. I asked during my questionnaire how many of you may have had tattoos. It was about a 50-50 answer of who had tattoos and who did not. Although all of us could definitely agree that we knew at least one person, whether it be family or friend, that had at least one tattoo and many more. For those of you who do not have a tattoo yet, I would like to give you a little bit of a background on tattoos, as well as some traditional designs and more popular designs in today's society. For those of you who have tattoos, maybe you'll catch a few more ideas for new ones. Today I'm going to speak to you about the history of tattoos, some traditional tattoos in different cultures, and the traditional tattoos in America. I personally have 11 tattoos, and I'm always looking for more ideas and more designs that I can look at that might mean something to me that I can go ahead and get. Unfortunately, I don't have all the time and money to be able to get all these tattoos, but hopefully in the near future I'll be able to get more. The most important question when discussing tattoos is where did they come from and what culture did they start? The tattoos originated from ancient history and are over 5,000 years old. We do not know much about their ancient history because we have not found enough bodies that have been frozen and we can check out all their tattoos and information. The closest we do have is over 2,000 years ago when the Egyptians were using tattoos as ways to mark women, more or less, for who's childbearing and their different jobs throughout their society. After that, the Japanese, starting in 5th century BC, had a lot of tattooing going on, and still today their traditional tattoos are used all over the world. And lastly, we need to discuss the Polynesian culture. They have been tattooing for over 2,000 years and still today use some of the traditional methods they did back 2,000 years ago. The father passes it down to his son, and therefore the tradition can never be lost. So they still get tattooed the same way, which is pretty painful and very enduring. They use boar's teeth that are sharpened, attached to part of a tortoise shell and a wooden handle, dip it in ink, and then pound it with a mallet in order to put the ink into the skin, so it can be a very gruesome process. Now that we've discussed the history of tattoos, let's discuss a few different cultures and their traditional tattoos. The Samoan culture, or the Polynesians, have, as I said, been tattooing for 2,000 years and still use their traditions today. The men get tattooed over more than half of their body when they reach the age of puberty. Those that can handle it are then apprenticed to become the tattooer themselves. Those who cannot are shamed for the rest of their lives. Women get tattoos as well in the Polynesian culture, although theirs are much smaller and usually on their hands, feet, or necks. In Japan, their traditional tattoos include many of their mythical creatures and are still used today. In Indonesia, they use spider web designs across their entire body to try to show off the mythological creatures and all the images throughout the forest. In Borneo, different tribes use their tattoos to commemorate a head hunting expedition. And in New Zealand, they still they tattoo masks on themselves in order to bring back the traditional culture of wearing masks often. After giving you a brief idea of the history of tattoos in different cultures and their individual traditions, we can now move on to popular artwork and tattoos ideas of our cultures today. Most popular tattoo ideas one of them is religious quotes, religious symbols, and it can be any religion. Many people today have Buddha, have crosses, have Jesus, have angels, and if they're not doing that, they're doing verses from a Bible or verses from other pieces of literature, and they have become very popular. It's almost as a blessing on some people's bodies or to commemorate a certain experience. Another huge or popular way to get tattooed is through quotes or dates. Quotes can be from anything. People use them from movies, from books, from song lyrics, or like I said, from a religious scripture. They can signify a whole slew of things, whether it's a positive energy, the way you're feeling in a depressed state, They use dates to signify the birth of something, the death of something, maybe a sobriety of some sort, which is a very big deal. Any big dates, any big deals are usually a really popular tattoo to get. And lastly, portraits seem to be making a major uprise in the tattoo world, and now that many artists are able to do portraits, it's become very popular. This is either pictures of kids, pictures of parents, even pictures of their pets have become really popular. Now that we have spoken about the history of tattoos and the different traditions and popular designs, you can all be a little bit more prepared when getting a new tattoo. Tattoos are a very important part of many cultures and traditions all across the world. Here in America, tattoos have become an artistic outlet and continue to gain popularity and acceptance every day, and even in the workplace. When preparing to go get your first tattoo or your next tattoo, I hope you are more aware of the different traditions and take time to design a tattoo that really means something to you and your culture. Thank you.